to utilize on a consistent basis.
Absolutely. You know what? I think we're going to do? I think we're going to actually run the show back right now as though we're just starting from the top. I think everything we're saying now bears repeating, firstly. And furthermore, I just got the word from our producer that the show has not been airing on our YouTube channel like we've intended. So now it is. I've just literally switched it over because in the backstage here in the studio, there's a couple of YouTube options, and I think I selected the wrong one. So as we do this, because we want this to be right, we're going to go ahead and actually bring the dope music that you created for today's episode forward and away, and then come back in and maybe even go over a conversation about the signature again. I think it bears repeating.
Okay.
I think it's all good.
Yeah, we can do it. It's refinement.
Yeah. Any parting words before we start the new episode? I bring the right music in, for example.
Bring in the first mix I sent you.
The first mix, okay.
Yeah, first mix.
All right, going with the first mix. All right, let me make.
It's got Audrey. It's got vibes inside. So.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I pull the right one in, and forgive me in advance if I don't.
All to the good.
All to the good. One quick second. We're going to cue this up, and thank you everybody standing by with us. We have a really great show today, I promise you. And we're just going to go ahead and properly orient you to this experience that we want to facilitate here. Thank you so much. All right. Peace and love. Love and gratitude. So amplify regenerative arts and culture, basically.
Exactly.
Give a platform to it. Going in, PR lives. Live to the whole world. Going in live.
1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328, 13 moons and 28 days, yeah. 1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328.
So we have the ability to be the media that we actually want to see, what we actually want to amplify or create in the world.
Bring forth those frequencies. Bring forward great minds and a lot of solutions.
As we really look at, how do we get where we are and where do we want to go from here? Where do we really see ourselves going? All right. There we go. That feels better. That's a nice intro. So happy to have you here with us today. Now, B, I don't know if your mic is on, so I'm not hearing you. So maybe you want to come up. I hope you're hearing me.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you were playing flute, though. We want to hear that flute. Bring that time is art vibe right in the mix. All right. All right. Creation in motion, creation in action, the momentum of creation. You're exemplifying that right now. So I want to welcome everybody out there tuning in to a special episode of PR 1328. My name is Mikuak. And my collaborator here is Bilal Samadhi, Soul Brother number 1.
Bless. Greetings.
Yes. So thank y'all. He's the one behind the production of this amazing sound vibe in the background, the high resonance music that you hear. Sunland Productions represent.
Dogstar.
That's right, Dogstar. What? Serious.
Dogstar.
Dogstar for sure. Sunland in the house. So we give thanks. And Bilal on the flute. Yeah, man. So yeah, again, welcome everybody to this episode. We're grateful to be here with you. And I want to give a shout out to our producer Shelly in the background, holding us down, sending me some notes, telling me things to be mindful of. It's always helpful to have your producers on deck. And right now I want to take a moment to have a sip of yerba mate tea. I think we should encourage people to be hydrated and enlivened.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah.
We got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Around.
And shout out to our future supporters, Guayaquil, out there representing some of the best yerba mate on the planet.
Exactly. And we got to love the Mandinka.
The Mandinka. See? These are the solutions. Come bearing the solutions.
Herbal remedies.
Wow. Ancient future technology right there. Ancient future technology. So, we're grateful to be here. We wanted to begin our show again. So thank you for those of you who have been with us. We want to actually share today's Galactic Signature with everybody so you can catch a vibe for the timing frequency that we're currently navigating. One of the aspects... Go ahead.
I just want to mention anybody who's with us, feel free to share this link. Feel free to share the link. We'll try to, if there's a chat, we'll try to put it in the chat or whatever. Though, we're going to be going over a few key things today, some very great information. And, it's just great to have a circle of love. And, we're family. So.
Absolutely.
And here we are.
Give thanks, Bilal. Today's Galactic Signature, as we look at it, is Kin 105, Red Magnetic Serpent. And the statement or the affirmation for it says, I unify in order to survive. Attracting instinct. I seal the store of life force with a magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled. And this particular signature is part of the, it's the Red Magnetic Serpent wave spell. And that wave spell is that 13-day sequence in a row that you can see here. So we start with the Red Magnetic Serpent there at the top position and sort of go southward in that pattern. The 5th day in that sequence is the red overtone moon, followed by then the 9th day, which is that next corner of the red solar skywalker. And then the 13th day in the sequence, in the spiral, is the red cosmic earth. Now, these particular images, they pattern nature. I'm noticing that I think I've lost the connection with Bilal here. Are you still here in the sky? Here we go, brought you back. So these particular images are patterning nature. When we look at that wave spell, that cycle, it's actually a reflection of a density wave in the galaxy from an astrophysics perspective. So it reflects that. And it suggests that these are the patterns through which we grow and evolve. We have and experience life. And these are archetypal reflections of these creative processes. When a person becomes familiar with their own galactic signature, for example, they get a little window into the world of their own creative evolution. And I know maybe you know yours, right? Speak about yours a little bit as well. We'll talk about today's tone, but I want to speak about yours too.
Okay. I am a self-existing white wizard.
Having trouble hearing you there, B. I don't know if you can. Something on the level of volume might be down. All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
Not so much. Yeah, your voice is really low.
Okay, you hear me
There
now?
we go. Yes, thank you.
I am a self-existing white wizard, and and my signature
Hmm.
says, um, it says, I, uh, okay, I'm trying to remember.
I define.
I define in order,
Mm-hmm.
I enchant,
Mm-hmm.
I define in order to enchant. Um, yeah, I need to memorize mine again. So
Indeed.
I know I have it, and I have it here.
And it's a good example. The interesting thing about actually knowing your signature allows you to sort of tap in to that sort of the frequency pitch of your purpose. So when you know your galactic signature, it gives you that reflection. And any given day has its own signature. So then we begin to understand the language of synchronicity and good timing based upon how these particular codes are lining up with our days or lining up with
Exactly.
perhaps our human
And
relationships or events in our life on
exactly
given days. It
how
gives us
things
a
relate to
lens,
each other from that lens. Gotcha.
the
So
inherent lens of
mine, just to give
synchronicity.
it to unfold it, is okay. Like I said, white self-existing wizard.
Hmm.
I define in order to enchant, measuring receptivity. Um,
Mm.
I seal the output of timelessness with the self-existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of heart.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, my my guide seal is the dog,
Mm-hmm.
which is the heart. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes.
And my compliment is the serpent. My challenge is the seed, and
Right.
my wizard. Yeah, my hidden is the wizard. The Yeah,
Right.
my hidden hand. So yeah, that's how it goes.
Your hidden helper. That's what they call it.
Exactly.
But if you notice here, I'm going to go back to the screen real quick. Your like minded power is the red serpent, and today is a red serpent day. That's why you see your white wizard show up in the oracle of today, because, like you said, your like minded power is the red serpent. And similarly, red serpent's like minded power is you. So you see how that works? So, in light of sort of
Relate.
relating to the energy of a given day, then you can kind of see how that shows up in the pattern. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, and then another beautiful
And
thing, just to point out for. Go ahead. I want to point something else out for
no,
folks.
I was just going to mention how the first round you were mentioning all these different modalities that basically help you define who am I. You know,
Hmm,
it's all a part of answering that question. So,
exactly.
like you said, the gene keys as well. I just want to bring that up again
Hmm.
as well, and just
Yes,
how they play a key part in it as well.
exactly. What I find most interesting is we're in the period of time where all of these different worldviews and these various lenses and these tools and technologies don't have to be the reason that we're divided. They're actually the method by which we synthesize our knowledge. We actually can unify in the things that unify us. So by that, everybody has a gene key, everybody has a signature, and all of these things reflect equality. That's the beautiful thing about them. So there's not something that suggests that one is higher than another, but actually they're all coherent and they work together. And ultimately, I think that's part of the sensitivity we need to evolve back to as humanity, or evolve into as we're evolving with the planet as it's evolving, so that we can actually be part of this shift from harm to harmony. That's really why we're doing the broadcast and amplifying this idea of regenerative arts and culture, because we want to be part of the shift of helping our humanity move from harm to harmony. We know there's a lot of things that are definitely in a disarray right now across the planet, and many people are in various ways hurting and suffering. And at the same time, there's a major shift happening, and whatever we put our attention on will grow. So as we continue to amplify regenerative arts and culture, our intention is to grow that in a space that's all inclusive and actually invites anybody to step into their own light, their own power, their own essence as a part of the solution, you know. So when we look at this, for example, this illustrates the fact that there are multiple kin or kinfolk, as people may say, or qualities in humanity, and all of them work together in a beautiful tapestry. Now you can also see here the highlighted section is the 13-day cycle or the 13-day wave spell that we're currently traveling through. You can see it highlighted in magenta if you look closely. And it's basically kin 105, red magnetic serpent, through kin 117, which is the red cosmic earth. So that's the next 13-day cycle that we begin today. And as we make ourselves conscious of that, then we're actually able to work with and play with the energy that this articulates in life. So, yeah, I just wanted to lay that out for folks so they get an understanding of sort of where we're coming from in terms of helping expand consciousness and shift out of the sort of conundrum of the worldview that's been dominant for, several centuries. We know that time is over. So as we actually hospice the dying culture and midwife essentially the new, we're a part of that team. We're a part of that, like many, many people on the planet, many who are born now. Some use the term light worker, others use the term healers, and there's a lot of terminologies. Essentially, love, beings who are loving and compassionate and kind to themselves and to each other. We're just a part of that crew, and we want to help, see this transition in a good way. You got anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, and I feel like the more we're aware and the more we understand this knowledge, the more we're able to see how it all fits together. And it's a level of enlightenment, actually, is what I would say, as far as information, knowledge, and how to navigate, in this journey of life. So
facts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in light of that, I'm looking for an image I wanted to share here real quick, because this past week there was a global celebration on the 22nd of March called World Water Day. And a lot of folks around the world were tuning in via UNIFY, which is one of our partners out there on this planet. Big up to UNIFY. And they, for several years, have been hosting globally synchronized meditations. And they acknowledge certain days throughout the year where things like International Day of Peace or World Yoga Day, and in this case, it was World Water Day, March 22nd.
Interesting.
And it's a beautiful, wonderful time in terms of holding that space. And this year's particular conversation was so powerful because I don't know, I was just deeply moved to appreciate, and I'm showing a crystal form here of a water crystal. And when we think about loving ourselves and having compassion, when you magnify the fact that we program water with our thoughts, whether we're conscious or not, we're always programming our water. It's like people talk about manifestation and how do I manifest? We're always manifesting. Like there's never a time when we're actually not. We are co-creators of our experience. And an interesting manifestation of that is this water crystal.
Exactly. And that just shows levels of crystallizing our thoughts.
Exactly. And what's interesting is in this case, this water crystal is the formation when Dr. Masaru Emoto, who's essentially the one who introduced the idea of the messages of water to our consciousness several years ago. This was one of the crystals that he was able to photograph in the study. And this is the words love and gratitude, the crystalline form of love and gratitude.
Wow.
And it's interesting. It looks like a 6-pointed star. It looks like a cube if you see it sort of like as a 3-dimensional structure, if you see it for what it really is, crystalline structure.
Exactly.
So imagine when we're focusing love and gratitude for example, and a lot of people by now understand that when the water was energized with a negative thought, it appeared in a total disarray, like there was no real harmonic structure to it. But when it was charged with a
Exactly.
positive thought, it was a beautiful crystalline formation. That's its actual nature.
Exactly.
And the other interesting thing they were talking about is they were speaking about how water itself is neutral. When you think of water, it's neutral. It's bland. There's no taste, right? It's completely neutral. So
Hmm.
it doesn't care whether you're thinking a positive or negative thought. It's merely going to be charged with the thoughts you give it. So a planet of people
Exactly.
who are mostly water on a planet that's mostly water have an opportunity to amplify and charge the water content that we embody as well as the water content we share with love and
Exactly.
gratitude as a baseline, at least, you know. But as we think
Exactly.
about, okay,
Exactly.
solutions to environmental issues, as we look at these kind of things, it's just occurred to me that we need to be really super mindful to recognize that we're constantly programming the water.
Exactly. Exactly. And it brings me back to something that you say that I like, that, there's another level of technology is us,
Mm,
and
mm,
our spirituality, and our
yes.
mind, our thought power. And like I was just mentioning about, some of the grids and the charts you were just showing, and the knowledge of some of these modalities. It's like it opens you to knowledge
Mm,
of the technology that is nature, you know. So you
absolutely.
get to see these grids that are here by nature, and then also, like you're saying, with the knowledge, I mean, with the water, it's like that's another level of technology. Because even as you show the the crystal there,
Mm-hmm.
as you look into it, you see it's a level of technology in there that is imposed, like, from the mind, not
Mm.
imposed, but what is it?
Imprinted, maybe.
Imprinted. Yeah, exactly.
Mm, mm,
Imprinted from the mind. Um, so that's just to say, with our own focus,
mm.
crystallizing that with the knowledge of these overlays and lenses of nature's, natural grid,
Yes.
then it's a great way to be able to navigate
Mm,
um, throughout this thing. Though,
exactly.
yeah, the water is just a great, it exemplifies, like like you're saying, it shows the imprint that we're imprinting.
Yeah.
Our mind um, broadcasting
Right.
is broadcasting
Exactly.
vibes, and it's being
Exactly.
picked up.
And
It
it's
crystallizes in creation.
exactly. And if you think about water as a conductor, right? So you're saying if you're thinking, your thought has a charge. Like you can tell or feel when somebody's thinking about you. And similarly, we can actually literally impress, as you say, or project into the water, broadcast into the water a message. Now imagine being deliberate about it. And then I also had the thought of like, okay, maybe this is a reason, if everything is primarily water, this is actually a basis for people praying with their food because they're literally charging their food, like
Wow, that's
scientifically
powerful.
charging their
That's
food
powerful.
with the
That's
consciousness of
powerful.
devotion or the consciousness of gratitude. It's like it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's just such a beautiful recognition that these technologies are not something we have to go and invent, that they're
Exactly.
existing and we can merely
They
turn
exist.
our attention to them and turn them on, activate them. And that's one of the
Exactly.
reasons why we've set out to
Exactly.
create this platform, just to help make certain things conscious for people, that they now can realize, oh, there are things that empower me and that enable me to shift my current paradigm or perspective or perception of reality. because reality is constantly creating itself. We're constantly manifesting.
Correct.
And if we can do it now, not only consciously, but then actually in alignment with nature, like you said, nature is the technology, then we can transform the planet away from the sort of entropic effect of all the sort of machine world and all the things that have, mounted up over centuries now, all the jarble. Because imagine if we've been programming the water the entire time, we're just now becoming conscious that we've been programming the water the entire time.
Exactly.
So in my
Wow.
mind, that opens a whole new
So
horizon of possibility.
yeah, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it makes me think also too about I had like when I go into meditation and prayer, sometimes I'll get downloads, So this morning, I got a download, which ties into, Earth Day, which we have a celebration coming up, which we'll mention more of soon. Though in the meditation, what came to mind was imagine the Earth as an entity in itself, right? And imagine relating with this entity. Imagine all that's comprised of this entity, its history, it's, the savage side and the beautiful side, the peaceful side, its future, its history, all is comprised in this entity that is the Earth, and just relating and feeling the vibes of this entity and sending it love and feeling the love from it and feeling the relationship with it was a powerful meditation. And talking about water brought me to that thought, because the entity that is the Earth, if there was any way to, energy exchange with it and have that direct connection with nature, it would be through water, you know what I'm saying? And that technology of the connection of human to Earth, is something that I've been thinking about lately, even musically, technology wise, or, I got to find another way of saying technology because it's something next level though. Yeah, that connection of human to Earth and evolving together type of thing.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. I know that says a lot though. That's just to say through water, we can get in touch with the entity, that is the Earth, the deity, the sacred deity, that is the Earth. And imagining what that deity means to the rest of the omniverse. It's one of a kind.
Exactly.
Throughout all existence, the deity that is the Earth, or, that entity is something really special,
Facts.
Though, yeah. Not to go too far on that.
Oh, that's a fact, though. And I mean, again, we can't overemphasize this. We all live on this spaceship together. So the sooner we can become cognizant to some of the universal laws that govern this place and the opportunities that opens up for us as creative beings, then the sooner we're going to get on with, living in a greater unity and union, with creation. Because I'm imagining
and see a higher overlay of the Earth, like an aria, a next level.
Yes. So you're mentioning some beautiful things, and I think in light of this, one of the things you mentioned the event that we're planning, and this is kind of part of why we wanted to launch this series. It's going to happen the next 4 weeks leading up to Earth Day. But one of the reasons to launch the series is to help amplify this idea of aligning with Earth. And we look at align with Earth. We look at the word align. It just continues to surface the past few weeks in the conversations. Even after we identified that as a theme for our Earth Day celebration, it just kept showing up. And we break that down as awareness and love inspires growth naturally. Align. Awareness and love inspires growth naturally. And so we've launched this particular series right now to help activate that regenerative consciousness. That's the focus, because you practice like you play, like they say in sports, right? When you're training for a game, you want to give as much in the practice as you're going to do when it's game time. So similarly, I feel like we're in a practice as a humanity for a larger game that we're beginning to become aware of, just at the very beginning. But we practice like you play, and that means, really be in your heart, frankly. Be in your meditation, be in your heart, be in your awareness of who and whose you are, so that you can bring the best of that into this opportunity. Because as many challenges as we're facing collectively, we do have to take a step back and appreciate the fact that what you resist persists, or what you choose to fight will only be energized by your decision to fight that thing that may very well be the thing you don't want to see happen anyway. So we have to now shift the frame of reference we have to recognizing and speaking into the water, if you will, impress the water that you embody, the water our planet is composed of, with that which we actually want to create. So let that be love, gratitude, grace, even, community, collaboration, whatever these things are. I just want to encourage people, as you take this journey with us, we're all in this together. We're going to continue to amplify those things that we identify or feel are part of the regenerative future. And by regenerative future, we're looking at actually transforming the things that have been problematic up to now by recognizing a need to create for generations to come, now and for generations to come. If it's regenerative, it implies that it's actually going to be long-standing. It's going to actually regenerate and grow itself. Awareness and love inspires growth naturally. So just wanted to posit that.
Exactly. And even on a yogic level, there's the thought of like a nirvana or a samadhi, though a collective samadhi of sorts, a collective freeing is collective regeneration, because regeneration speaks of freedom, of true freedom, because nature reflects regeneration. Like, if you see an orange tree, it grows oranges, maybe enough for the whole block, right?
Right.
Though the type of technology it is there's seeds in it that naturally it's going to grow a new tree, or it's regenerative. It's life-giving and regenerative. That's why there's seeds in these sweet, veggie, sweet fruits and things,
Exactly right.
So that's just to say that it's a level of freedom as well. Collective freedom, which nature speaks of, as we observe it.
Facts. So speaking of that, one thing you just mentioned really is spurring me to pull up video from a woman named Marina Jacoby, who actually recently, I had a conversation with her, my partner and I had a conversation with her to discuss, or ask her actually, to provide a message for humanity related to Earth Day. And it's interesting because it seems like this question catalyzed quite a real amplification, we'll say, of consciousness that we really become aware of as we near this Earth Day, because it's actually designated as a major activation portal, we'll say, for lack of a better word. But with all the energy coming across the fact that we're now celebrating the 51st Earth Day, Earth Day is one of the most unifying events on the planet, right? So we were inspired to do this event that could help raise the awareness of that. Now I got to make sure that I have this situated correctly. So the audio source here, pardon me real quick.
And let me just put in a quick note real quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention about the water.
Hmm.
Like, before we move out of that, try to be creative about, you can be creative about how you use water. There's so
Hmm.
many different ways it can be used. I know, one of my babas, he teaches me if you have problems remembering your dreams, you can put water under your bed and it can
Hmm.
help you remember your dreams. You can pray into water,
Yes.
and even if it's not necessarily the spit, but just
Hmm.
just putting that energy, that
Essence.
life force towards it,
Hmm.
and then
Absolutely.
utilize that water, put it in your bath, or you know, so there's many ways you can get creative with it as well as a
Yes.
technology, a earth technology, and uh, aiding us in aligning, with Mother Earth.
So I know this might be interesting for some folks to consider. Uh, we're not alone in, we'll say, the galaxy. We're not alone in our star systems. We are neighbors, in fact, to many other dimensional vibrational beings, if you will. And a lot of that information has been long suppressed because the even the consideration of life beyond planet Earth will have the effect of expanding one's consciousness. Even the effect of somebody, for example, doing earth medicine, be it ayahuasca or smoking marijuana or things like this, have a tendency to expand a person's view or lens into the nature of nature. So this is kind of the initiation the entire planet's going through right now. I just want to suggest that. So I want to share a video with folks so they can see this message that we're being encouraged to share on Earth Day. And just so folks know, it includes numerical codes, it includes numbers. Now, for people who understand sacred geometry, for example, numbers and their patterns invariably will give us a sense of form or shape, geometric structure. So these numbers are actually, by articulating them or making them conscious, we're actually energizing particular structures that are coordinated by geometries that exist. It's kind of an interesting thing to expand your mind to consider that we do have the ability to manifest based on these quantum principles, just as you are where you're sitting without needing to buy any technology. You are the technology. Okay. So this is a part of the reason and the download for this message, because we as human beings have to soon come to the recognition that we are manifesting everything, always. So we're manifesting the conditions that now cause us to be earth activists and to say, hey, issues are a real thing. Well, they're a real thing because we've actually manifested it consciously. So similarly, we need to begin to use the same skill now with awareness to shift directions and the trajectory that we're taking as a planet. So jump into that real quick. And again, our friend's name here is Marina Jacoby, and she's on YouTube. You can look her up, the Harmonic Reactor, on YouTube. We'll just run a little bit of the program that she shared a couple of weeks ago announcing Earth Day, the Earth Day event and the event we're doing. Okay. Give thanks. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the audio is actually playing. Were you able to hear anything, Bilal?
Nope.
Okay, okay. So I think we have a little connection with the audio issue here. I want to encourage people, in any case, to go do your own research. Her name is Marina Jacoby, Marina. The name of this particular episode was The Liberation of Planet Earth. And it's very deliberate language, and we can talk about that. But then you can view the video at the very beginning in which she shares the meaning behind the codes that she was given to help with what's coming up with Earth Day. So we have to understand, as an Earth and human species, we're not alone, and there is support for us to make this necessary shift. It's like kind of making a quantum leap, like we're actually being positioned to do that. And I know that's kind of like very broad-minded thinking for most people. However, we're far more phenomenal than we even begin to understand or imagine.
Yeah, no doubt. So is the sound possible?
I'm not sure. It's a thing. I think it's a
Can we
technical
try
thing that I'm going to have to. It's gonna
Sometime
be.
later.
We have a few episodes leading up to Earth Day, fortunately, so we'll suss that issue out.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to
We'll
bring that back for folks. And my apologies for the fact that wasn't audible at the moment. But again, go look up Marina Jacoby Harmonic Reactor on YouTube. That's the best place to find her information. And check it out. And it's the episode called Liberating Your Planet Earth. If you look under her videos section on the YouTube channel, it was only posted 2 or 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. So you'll be able to find it fairly easily. And in that
quick question.
broadcast, she's talking about the event that we have coming up. Yeah, Bilal.
The hour of power, was that what it was called? When
No,
was it? Did that
it's
pass or is it coming up?
It passed. It was also yesterday, or rather 2 days ago. That was on Saturday.
Okay.
And it's called Earth Hour. It's actually called Earth Hour. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because what's interesting is things like Earth Hour, things like Earth Day, they don't have to be things we do or think about once a year, kind of out of habit. They must become a more predominant way of being, right? Like, we are invited to these things as like little practice runs, but eventually, like, a consciousness of conserving electricity and turning your lights off should be something people do all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
like Earth Hour, it's great because it is a sort of form of representation, of demonstration, like, hey, this matters. And so encouraging people as they do annually to observe Earth Hour is a phenomenal thing. And people can check out earthhour.org for more information. I would also say, though, that we want to get into the frame of mind to where this is more of our way of being and not just something we mark once in a while or once every year. It's more important that it becomes part of our lifestyle, right? So, with that said, we are able to partner this year with the group who is actually the organization that came out of the first Earth Day, called earthday.org. And they're doing some really important things. And before I bring up their website, I want to show people their website so they can kind of see the website as we're talking about it. And just encourage them to visit earthday.org to find out all the information they can find out about all the great campaigns that earthday.org has going on this year. The intention that we had in convening with them and doing our Align with Earth event on Earth Day is to be able to bridge the environmental activist community with what I like to call the new Earth architects, the ones who are bringing in this technology, bringing in this awareness, because there are physical technologies too, certainly, that we want to help amplify and highlight that actually will free energy up. The liberation of planet Earth is about the liberation of energy, the liberation of people, the liberation beyond the monetary system and structure that is obviously not here for the benefit of 100% of all life. I mean, that's more than evident. So
exactly,
we're amplifying those things that are oriented
mind,
to
body, and soul.
Life. Yeah, and all the species, the flora, the fauna, the ecosystems, the interconnectedness of life. I'll say the interesting thing is that it has taken a global pandemic to at least cause us as a humanity to pause, or be forced to pause and consider that we are interconnected, that we are actually interconnected. Now we're interconnected by a virus. We're interconnected by something that could actually kill us. However, the lesson there is everything's interconnected. Now, it's always interconnected. Now, it doesn't have to be that we come to that epiphany as a result of the pressures or the threat of death or the loss of our family members, which some of us have lost family to this thing, but that we actually recognize everything's interconnected. Like, what is spirituality if
Exactly.
not interconnection? So, just kind of making these things more normalized is one of our goals here, too.
Exactly. And that does speak to the thought of the fact that with this virus, one of the first things that people move to is cleanliness, the cleaning of things,
Yes.
cleaning of spaces,
Absolutely.
cleaning the air, cleaning the atmosphere, cleaning the environment,
Yes.
So, if by nature we're moving in this way, then that already shows that that's where we need to go. That's where the future, is pushing by nature, So, yeah. So it's like one way or the other. It's like the earth is like either you're going to be taken out with the cleansing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's many ways to look at it.
Exactly.
There's many ways to look at it.
And all of the ways to look at it have merit, and that's the beautiful thing, and merit to the degree that it has merit, right? So I want to share,
or be a part of the cleansing,
be a solution. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to share a screen real quick. You're not going to be able to hear. Well, you'll be able to hear me, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm going to share a screen real quick that shows Earth Day 2021's website, just so folks out there can catch a vibe for what they're doing. And the interesting thing is, as we initiated our interaction with earthday.org, we recognized we've been amplifying, the message planet restoration for, 16 years ourselves as our effort in this case. And the theme this year is Restore Our Earth. So it was a beautiful compliment to consider, like, okay, this is a time now. This was more of a signal, like, okay, this is a time to become more deliberate and have a real presence, among sort of zeitgeist out here with what we've been amplifying and help make it more normal. So as we look at earthday.org's website, you can see that it features a lot of information, and they're focused on 3 days of climate action, which has sort of its own focus. And again, we encourage you to visit the website earthday.org, learn how you can get involved, how you can become involved with restoring our Earth. There's actions people can take today, of course. There's a lot of resources there. And then you notice here's our event. We're on the calendar. Align with Earth, a celebration of regenerative arts and culture. So we invite you to visit earthday.org. Again, catch a vibe for what they're, what they're focusing in on there. And then, learn more, and, feel free to reach out to them and consider volunteering. There's a lot of wonderful ways to get involved. One of the things we're going to do here, one of their campaigns is called the Great Global Cleanup. So whether that's at the beach or that's in the city, maybe consider where you might do a cleanup, even if it's just in your own backyard or your own neighborhood on your block. Like, consider doing a cleanup as a gesture, because every little thought builds the momentum of shifting our paradigm, right? So no act is too small to help make a difference.
Exactly. Yeah. And it also makes me think of, the aura of the Earth and the noosphere as well. And how we connect together as a human family and connect with the Earth. It also, speaks to a collective evolution. So
facts.
It's
Facts. Seems like that's a great reason to play the song Aria right now for folks to also
nice.
recognize. We did a project, Bilal and I, in alignment with the Great Conjunction that occurred December 21st, 2020. Folks will have recognized this, maybe did their own meditation that day. What we did is for the 7 days leading up to it, we created a musical EP of 7 songs that are actually using the musical tones that are derived from certain mathematical frequencies. That's a mouthful, but the outcome has been phenomenal, and the resonance that it provides is phenomenal. And so we were able to share that song with Marina Jacoby, the woman that we showed you earlier, who's got the Harmonic Reactor YouTube channel. And she was inspired by what she saw, because we were initially inspired by her work, where she received communication with the planet, where, people have been calling the planet Gaia. And I think she was referring to Gaia in one of her transmissions or communications. And she got a download, essentially, that the planet Earth is like, that's not my name. That my name is Aria. Now, what's interesting about that, if anybody knows what an aria is, it's a song. It's a choral piece. So imagine, and this is to specify, this is Earth's 5th dimension name. Let's just say it's its evolved energetic name. As a person on their spiritual path, for example, may get a name. When you go through initiation, you're getting a new name because you have a new identity. You've gone through the work, you've gone through the fire, and you get a name. It's like the phoenix rising, rebirth, right? So apparently, Earth has a 5th dimensional name, a new energetic name that is Aria. And the word aria, again, really means a choral, a harmonic choral song. It's kind of auspicious that that's the name of the Earth. But we're going to go ahead and play the song produced by Mr. Colin, Bilal, and myself on behalf of Planet Restoration. You can also find these songs on our YouTube channel. If you go to, just look up Planet Restoration on YouTube, you'll find us there, where the whole EP is available for you to check out and tune yourself into. But here's the song Aria for your enjoyment.
Everything that is needed to bring forth life is present. Let us take that deep dive into a connection to natural time.
Explore your superconscious, act with magnetic purpose, cosmic creation in mind. Manifestation, galactic synchronization, deep meditation, pure light.
Look at the beauty everywhere, the answer to my prayers. I finally arrived. I'm seeing things that I never seen, reawakening a dream. The vibes are sublime.
Center down into this moment. We center into the infinite now, where all creation is birthed. Let's take a deep breath.
Radio plasmas connect with the noosphere. The stars, moon, and planets align. Prophets and masters stimulate higher awareness. Tune into your holo mind.
Look at the beauty everywhere, the answer to my prayers. I finally arrived. I'm seeing things that I never seen, reawakening a dream. The vibes are sublime.
Taking the sacred pause this experience. And so it is. Everything.
All right, all right, all right.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nice.
So some vibes.
Aria.
Aria. So yeah, I mean, we've been duly inspired to honor Earth Day in this way. It's just been such a combination of events. That's kind of beautiful. Now, if you look at the frame on the screen, you'll notice it says align with art, because at the center of Earth is art. That's the point. The whole cosmology of time science is to differentiate between the paradigm that says time is money versus time is art, meaning time is your creative capacity come to life. And that's what Earth wants of us right now, is to be the creators that we're designed to be. We're made to be creators. We're not made to be disempowered and subjected and usurped. There's a lot of that that's been happening, obviously. But now at this point, that's not an option anymore. There's such a splitting of worlds happening and a differentiation that people who are vibing on this coercion and control, or even the fear and all that that's being projected through innumerable channels, that's going to have its destination, as does those who are actually amplifying regeneration or amplifying harmony and synthesis with the planet, and an awareness that expands, into greater love, greater support, greater compassion, etc. So that's part of the essence
and our
of
mind,
this.
And our mind frame as art piece, that's projected and crystallized into reality, as well. And aligning with that frequency of artwork, that magnifies and glorifies and uplifts, Aria, our vision of a new earth, our vision.
That's right.
And our vision of a new earth doesn't have to necessarily be a far out thing.
No.
It could be our vision for tomorrow, our vision today, our vision for the next hour.
When you said far out, of the fact. When you said far out, I thought you meant like galactic or something. But I get what you mean. Far out in the future.
Yeah,
in the future, far out. That's
exactly in the future. Yeah. Though, because of the fact that we're creating it mentally and crystallizing it and sealing it into each moment through crystallized thought. So we have the ability to create that aria in the present with each new moment, with each new day.
Exactly.
As a captain and a commander of that ship, each person.
Well, it's going to be important then, as such, that everybody gets into some form of alignment, so that all these captains are going in a similar direction. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because it's and that's the beauty. It's like a centric experience, not centralized like the banks, but centric as in it regenerates from its core, from the heart. And when you look at the idea of the word heart, and like your efforts with heart work, which is, you can share with people a little bit about that. The beauty there is that the word heart is a reconfiguration of the word earth, right? So
wow, exactly.
And art is still present in all of it, which is a beautiful thing to recognize, because again, time is art.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful
when
you move in the creative flow and all those good things. We touched upon,
it's mathematic.
It really truly is. There's a beautiful structure, and we're becoming aware of it. I was going to say that we touched upon a bit about World Water Day. I really encourage people to do more research on Dr. Emoto. Just look him up, Dr. Emoto, to learn more about the messages in water, for those that aren't already familiar with his work, groundbreaking work. Earth Hour, earthhour.org, certainly visit that. The Great Global Cleanup can be found, information for that can be found on earthday.org itself. And then the quantum solutions, as we've touched upon, the Marina Jacoby harmonic reactor on YouTube. You can find her work there. The gene keys. We didn't touch on this too deep, but the gene keys is a grand synthesis of practical knowledge for our personal and collective evolution. And I want to emphasize the fact that it's practical knowledge. It's about as practical as you can get, in the sense that the gene keys operate to the degree that you contemplate on the gene keys, if that makes sense. In other words, whatever we put our attention to will grow. So as the gene keys are revealing an awareness of our evolutionary nature, the more that we put an emphasis into our own unique gene keys, it will inspire growth, actually. So I invite people to visit genekeys.com, genekeys.com, for more information there, and where you can go ahead and get your own free profile reading. And then, there are folks out here who do help people comprehend that science, that approach. It incorporates astrology. It incorporates an awareness of the DNA codon. It incorporates the Chinese I Ching also as a structure. So it's really profound in its accuracy as well, I just have to say. So if you're looking for some clarity on how to sort of spiral up and out of maybe patterns or shadows that you've not been as capable to overcome, getting knowledge on your gene keys will really give you a strong foundation from which to do your work. So I really want to encourage people to check that out.
As well as your galactic signature.
Exactly.
Between knowing your gene keys and your galactic signature.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
And I would, take the liberty of inviting anyone to hit up McCool Ray, hit up his inbox. If you want to be pointed in the right direction, he can help you find your galactic signature, as well as gene keys, and he can kind of walk you along, a little bit. And so I'll take the liberty of, saying, inviting you to Makua's inbox.
I love it.
And services.
I love it. I mean, people can find me on anywhere pretty much on the web, Mikuakrai.
Because as humble as he is, he's pretty in depth with the knowledge in these key sciences. So go ahead, give him the link.
I'm just gonna say Mikuakrai. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. So, and happy to help if there's anything we're sharing now does pique your interest. If you want to learn more, if I don't have the answer, I will certainly direct you to somebody who does. I'm happy to do that as a solar world bridger, stepping in my purpose. So yeah, I mean, in light of these things, I just want to share a little video of things that I found inspiring this week.
Where's the music come from?
I don't know, but we're playing super small clips of it.
Okay.
And hopefully I don't get dinged by Universal Music Group for like a violation of copyright.
Yeah, you may want to mute it and play our own music. That would be good.
That's funny. Oh gosh.
We also talk about time shift.
So we will play our own music at this point. There's another song for your heart vibration. While you listen to this, envision that earth encircled by that circumpolar rainbow bridge, embracing it with love and gratitude. That's the only frequency.
Remember this, look of remembrance, buried there within your heart, deep. Galactic hierarchy, tap you into Samadhi. Press the key frequency, you'll serious beat. All the hard work you were doing, still return to the center where the light is pure, always pure. You are my reflection, sacred
raise your frequency. Universal cosmic creation. Love's the master key. I am one with the earth. The earth and myself are one mind. Crystalline in this heart of mine. Synthesizing, will harmonize our love. Synthesizing, will harmonize our love.
Let's navigate, shifting the tones, let's modulate. This cosmos, let's traveling. Job creation got me marveling. At the core, there's a light. From south to north, today combine. Step into something realign. Shine in the serious beast sign. Hey.
We're also moving as a trajectory in time, an evolving celestial body moving in a trajectory of time.
Check, 1, 2, yeah. Check, 1, 2, yeah. Celestial family, root of humanity, galactic royalty, yeah. We thrive in unity, it's you and me, I see, reflecting divinity. Oh yeah, we come from the stars and we're meant to live in the garden, giving love from the heart, and my tribe will enter the calling. Yeah, we come from the stars and we're meant to live in the garden, giving love from the heart, and my tribe will enter the calling.
From the heart of the mother, serving them all up. Celestial bodies, yeah. Synthesizing, synchronize, will harmonize our love.
Vibes.
Yeah, vibes. Wow. Good vibes. So yeah, folks can check out Serious Codes. Look it up on YouTube. Look up our YouTube channel, Planet Restoration. We're out there. We have a playlist with the EP right there. That song you just heard called Celestial Waters in honor of World Water Day. Playing that for the love. Featuring our brother Taj Abdul Samad on the track.
Exactly.
Mr. Column
Blessed Up.
represents,
Nice.
blessed it up. Super nice. And I'm super excited for future music we have coming up, just to continue to help raise the vibration. We got some nice stuff. We're kind of in the mix with it, getting ready to share with the human family. So that'll be coming forward soon. Stay tuned to what we have going on. And while we're at it, we want to acknowledge with this production coming up for Earth Day, it's a super large endeavor. I mean, the intention here is to reach as many folks as we possibly can, right? So we
if I may, real quick, the
Yeah.
theme Align. Can you break that down for me real quick? I don't know if we did this round.
Yeah, I mentioned it, but I'm happy to do it again. I was going to give a shout out to UNIFY for the
Nice.
event, so I will. Align in this case represents awareness and love inspires growth naturally, right? And for people being able to see that background image there, they'll obviously see the real graphic where it's aligned with Earth. And so that's the idea, align with Earth. Awareness and love inspires growth naturally. We're partnering with earthday.org to raise awareness about the important work that they're doing along the lines of policy and informing the public about ways that they can get involved in being part of the solution out here. And then, that's one of the vibes we want to keep. And then we're also connecting with our folks at UNIFY, who I was about to mention. So make sure that we can bring some of that into scope and full view for everybody. Certainly appreciate loving the focus here. Let me see if I can find this link for sharing a bit about UNIFY with our viewers out here. And of course, you can always visit unify.org, or you can find them on Facebook, UNIFY on Facebook. That's the place where they stage all of the events that they support. They will be a media partner with Planet Restoration for the Earth Day broadcast, Align with Earth, that we're in the process of creating. And yeah, just excited to always share with them. I've been following their work since 2012, when they initially started to produce global synchronized meditations around the completion of the Mayan calendar. And they were doing an event that I was actually part of in Chichen Itza, Mexico. But yeah, we'll just take a quick look at their site. We can check them out. And again, we can find ways to get involved, visit them when you get a chance. Let me see, just pop this up over here. Yeah, you can see they do the global synchronized meditations and so on. A lot of important work. They also have an emphasis on the SDGs, which is basically the global framework for approaching the key issue areas, that humanity faces right now in the next, basically over the next 10 years. The SDGs started as a continuation of something called the Millennium Development Goals, which is a 15-year campaign before this, that was initiated by member nations of the United Nations. And so the Sustainable Development Goals began in the year 2015 and go to the year 2030. So along the timelines that we find ourselves tracking, there is some to do with that as well, because these are markers for just goals and benchmarks for the human family to reach in some capacity. So we're very interested, as I said before, in how we synthesize the activists with the future architects, and a little bit of what that looks like, how we synthesize and harmonize these folks, into a beautiful choral aria that everybody can be harmonizing together and actually creating beauty. So I want to make sure I'm not overlooking anything. I know we had a nice little rundown of things to cover today. I want to definitely give a big shout out to our brother. And this is an example. We're going to continue to highlight folks that we know and folks that will come to know who are doing important work, working with the earth in real and direct ways. So our brother Essex is one such of our folks doing really beautiful, important work. I'm going to pull up his initiative, which I'm super excited about, what he's bringing out here. And I'm going to ask Bilal to speak on it a little bit as well, just to kind of talk about what Essex is up to, because he's super close with the family. And, we just want to definitely just give a big up to Essex for his important work. Bilal, I'm going to put you on the screen real quick, so that way you can see the site and maybe talk a little bit about what Essex is up to. One quick second. Let me pop you over here into the viewing field, and you're on.
Yeah. Essex is a brother of mine. We have the same botanist teacher, and it was actually his father-in-law, Dr. Ando, Dr. Anthony Kwaku Ando, and he was a master botanist, and the knowledge that he left the world with is just amazing. It's just so much knowledge, and it's hard to, you're not going to find somebody with the knowledge that he shared. Now, Essex has downloaded, and Dr. Ando has instilled in him so much energy, information, wisdom, and just spiritual energy. And now it's all flowing through. It's all flowing through him, and he's tapping into the plants. He's getting in touch with the plants. He's communicating with them. They're telling him, how best they grow. He's started to make his own pots even. And it's just beautiful to see. This is his site, Fleek of Nature. And the name of the site, what is it? fleekofnature.com, I think. So you all check him out if you are a lover of plants or not. Get some of these plants in your life, and you will be a lover of plants. So yeah, this is all a part of harmonizing on a mental level with the earth, with each other, and with the plant life. You know, you want it in your life, you want it in your room, you want it in your house, and also Essex. You know, once you get in touch with him, he'll explain more and more about, you know, which ones do what attributes, what they give off. Different ones give off different scents. There are some that actually act like, you know, they're alive and will open up, you know, depending on like if you touch it. Or so he's the man to go to for your plants, as well as apparel. He has beautiful uh, Fleek of Nature apparel as well.
Right on.
So check him out. Check him
Big
out.
up to the brother Essex,
For real.
fleekofnature.com. Yeah, like you said, it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to have the plants in your life because it teaches resensitization to caring for nature, right? It's like a special thing.
Exactly.
So the more we can be resensitized to nature and its intelligence, I mean that's goals. So yeah, big up to
Exactly.
him. And
Thank you.
you'll hear more from him in the future. We'll hopefully have him on a future program to talk more specifically about his work and how the legacy and the work of Dr. Ando has influenced him. And for people to check out as well, that EP that we played some tracks from our work, we featured Dr. Ando's voice on those recordings, which is a very special thing from talks that he gave over 20 years ago. And the information there is so pertinent to what's going on right now.
It is. It is. And one
Absolutely.
thing Essex mentions to me that I like is how, you know, different plants have different personalities,
Mm.
different vibes, different energies. And as you get the plants around, you'll see what plants you vibe with and how. And you know, so it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Mm. That's powerful, man. It's beautiful. So what I think maybe we do now is, certainly give a shout out to everybody out there listening in. Thanks to our producer in the background, keeping us on track.
Exactly. Yeah, good. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, big up. And yeah, just out here, prayerfully, you've heard something today that inspires you to dig a little deeper, do some more research, or whatever that may lead you to do.
I was going to mention as plant restoration. Can you run through restore for us, just so we could get a feel of uh, of the breakdown of what's all comprised in what we're doing as
Right.
restoring, you know, the planet.
Right. Well,
Just
they're
a quick
basically
run through.
right. I'm looking to see where that note is because, to be honest with you, I don't know them off my head, the top of my head. You know,
Oh,
because
okay, got you.
like you want me to
Mhm.
pull that up? Okay. I
Okay,
know the
okay.
first one, which I was going to talk about today anyway, is remember. The idea, like when we talk about restore, what we did is we basically identified 7 key principles that express the essence of why we're promoting this idea of restoration. And one of them is remember, and I think that's the first one, in fact, of the 7. And
Mhm.
maybe we'll just start with that because I actually remember that one. Uh, one of them is realign, that shows up. One of them is
Nice,
recognize or recognize. One of them
nice.
is I want to say renew is one of them, right? Another one, in fact, is uh, restore itself. That was one of them.
Hmm.
Regenerate
Exactly.
is also one of them. I think that was the 7th one. I think restore was the 4th one. So I'm pulling those out of my
Exactly. Yeah,
memory right
yeah.
now,
No. That,
but it
that
gives
that
people
ties
a
in nicely
sense. Yeah,
because realign is, you know, on that trail, you know, which is what
exactly,
we're doing with this Earth Gate,
exactly.
with this alignment.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, in fact, I think what we might
So we can
do
tie
is
that in.
just for folks, awareness of the event, we want to encourage people to visit our YouTube channel. We'll have the live link there. Though after today's technical error earlier, we may have to create a new link, but that's all right. That's all right. That happens. So, but in light of that, I wanted to say thank you to everybody out there that was able to tune in with us today. And with that in mind, certainly encourage you to remember your creative capacities, and certainly visit Gene Keys. Certainly do your own research out there. You can find information on Galactic Signatures. There's an abundance of information out there. Any questions you have, I'm certainly happy to help. And I don't know if you have any parting words there, Bilal.
Yeah, my parting words are that, we have a circle of love, and you are included into our circle of love. And prayerfully, you have included us into your circle of love. And as you step into our circle of love, bring the next one. You know what I'm saying? Bring the next one into our circle of protection, love, peace, prosperity, and enlightenment.
Perfect. Thank you so much, B. Peace to the family. And we're going to leave you with the beautiful new music for the Planet Restoration show. Just play that little outro, essence of that, so you could catch a vibe with that. And again, encourage you to stay tuned as we align with Earth on the road to Earth Day 51. Peace and love, everybody. Love and gratitude. So amplify regenerative arts and culture, basically.
Exactly.
Give a platform to it. Going in, PR live. Live to the whole world. Going in live.
1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328, 13 moons and 28 days, 1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328.
So we have the ability to be the media that we actually want to see, what we actually want to amplify or create in the world.
Bring forth those frequencies. Bring forward great minds and a lot of solutions.
As we really look at, how do we get where we are and where do we want to go from here? Where do we really see ourselves going?